What's going on, everyone? It's your boy Ethan. Hope you're having a great day. Back here with another poker video, and we're playing a very first poker tournament of the vlog or on the channel, so we'll see how it goes. I'm going to MGM Springfield. It's actually their very first tournament that they're holding, so if you're around the area, I feel like it's a pretty big deal if you play poker there, so figured I'd have to go. It's a $150 buy-in, bounty tournament, and also $5K guaranteed, so it's pretty cool. $100 goes in the pool, $25 for the bounty, $25 to the house, basically. So pretty interesting tournament. I'm pretty excited to play in it. I'm not a huge poker or tournament player. I'm not a huge tournament player, so we'll see how things go. I've only probably played in like 5 tournaments in my life so far, so cashed in one of them, but once again, I'm pretty inexperienced in terms of the tournament styles, but hopefully we'll run things up pretty well, run good, play some good poker, and hopefully last pretty long into it. So going there for experience, going there for fun. Hopefully it goes out pretty well. I'm gonna get there as soon as the tournament actually starts, so we'll see what the atmosphere is like. I'm sure the poker room's gonna be bumping, and I guess we'll get into it.
Did I give up? Was it too hard? Or was it too hard cause I just gave up? Just gave up. Did I sleep away the day cause I was tired? Or did I get tired cause I slept too much? Slept too much. We go up and down, we go up and down on this roller coaster ride, roller coaster ride. We fall back sometimes, we fall back sometimes on this roller coaster ride. In this roller coaster.
So we sit down at the table with a starting stack size of 15K. The interesting part about this tournament was also there's a $10 option to add on 5,000 more chips. So obviously that's a no-brainer to add an additional, increasing our stack from 15 to 20K for just an extra $10. So obviously everybody does that, and officially the official buy-in is really $160 because no one's going to say no to an initial $10 to add a whole 5,000. So everybody starts off with 20K chips, and I'm going to go over the main hands of each level, starting with level 1. I have Ace Queen versus Ace King on an Ace High flop, and I lose that one. That was pretty standard there. I lost about 4,000 chips. So at the end of level 1, I have 16K. Moving on to level 2, blinds are 75, 150. I have King 10 offsuit and a 7-way limped pot in early position, so never love going 7 ways to the flop, but the flop comes King 5, 3, which is pretty nice there. So under the gun leads out for 400, and I just make the call, and 2 others call behind. So on a super dry board like this, it's kind of concerning. I have a decent kicker, but once again, a limped pot, you have no idea what other people can have. The turn's a 5. So now the board's paired. Not a card that I like, but when undergun checks, I decide to bet 2K into the pot. Middle position ends up making the call, and all others fold. So when he calls this, I mean, I'd like to think I'm ahead a lot of the time, but also I still need to be cautious about it. The river is a brick. And when I said I'd be cautious about it, that means I also just throw in 6,000 in there. And he quickly calls and shows pocket 3s for a boat. So flopped bottom set there and really got max value for me playing that super poorly. So lost a good amount there, and now my stack is dwindled to 7K at the end of level 2. Now into level 3, the blinds are 100, 200. My very first hand of level 3 here with only about 7K in front of me. I'm on the big blind with Ace Queen offsuit. The middle position makes it 700. The small blind ends up making the call. And now I'm in a spot where, honestly, I could just call it off or 3-bet. But I jam for 7K because, well, honestly, I can just rebuy at the end of the day, and there's a decent amount of dead chips in the middle, or at least chips in the middle, so figured I'd get one caller and hopefully double up there since I'm the small stack. Middle position folds, and the small blind ends up making the call. He flips over 7s, and I have Ace Queen. So flop with one club as well. So the flop comes 9, 6, 2 with 2 clubs, and the turn is an 8 without a club, so really drawing to an ace or a queen, and the river is a queen. So double up there in a good old fashion, rivering him with basically 2 live cards. So we'll take that. Unfortunately, at the end of level 3, I trickle down to 10,000 chips because I'm an idiot and I'm not good at tournament poker. Skipping level 4, we're on to level 5 here. I chip down to about 7k in front of me after nothing really happens in level 4, but level 5 here, the blinds are 200, 400 with a 50 ante. I'm on the big blind with pocket 5s in this spot, and there's 2 limpers to me, and I decide to shove. So the rebuy period ends after level 6, so I was perfectly okay with either doubling up in this spot or busting out and just rebuying again. So it gives me enough time to kind of rebuy and actually settle myself down. So very happy and comfortable with this spot with the shove. I get called by a massive stack with Queen Jack. He was running super hot, had about 60k in front of him, so he was clearly doing pretty well. Queen Jack versus pocket 5s. A queen comes right on the flop, and I don't remember what all the other cards were, but he scooped that one up. That was a pretty quick and painless death there, so totally okay with it. So I go over and rebuy for bullet number 2 in this tournament. So here in our second bullet in level 6, we are starting with a 20,000 stack, rebought, restarting over. Usually in my past experience, my first time around in tournaments, I get a little too spewy, I get a little too aggressive, a little too excited, and I play a little too poorly. So usually I'm a little more stable the second time around, and hopefully I'll try to run things up this time. So here, last hand of level 6 here, I have 4-5 offsuits in the cutoff position. The middle position limps, and then folds back to me, so I limp, small blind folds, and the big blind checks. So we're 3 ways to the flop of Jack 3-5 with 2 clubs on this spot here. Flopping middle pair on this board, it's very interesting, and especially when it checks to me in IF position, I decided to make a bet of 1,500. The big blind folds, and the middle position calls. The turn's a queen of spades. Not the best card for me. He can very well hit his queen, but when it checks to me, I ended up betting 3,000 again. Just kind of see where he's at. I think we're deep enough to make this bet. Charge draws as well. Didn't really know what he possibly could have, especially in this limped pot, but I feel like I could be ahead in this spot a lot of the time. In that specific moment there, that was just my read on the guy at this time. But he quickly calls a 3,000. So at this point, I'm just looking to check down the river and get to showdown. River is a 2 offsuit. Actually super nice card for me. He checks, I check it down. He shows ace-6 of clubs for a missed flush draw, and I scoop that one up with a pair of 5s. So entering the first break with 25k after rebuying. So not the worst start in the world to our second bullet here. Entering level 7 after the break, the blinds are 400, 800 with a 100 chip ante. Looking down at pocket queens in the hijack here, so pretty good spot, especially with how deep our stack is at the time, about 25k. So under the gun plus 2 opens to 1,700, folds back to me where I 3-bet to 4,500, folds back to him and he makes the call. So we're heads up to the flop of ace king 4 rainbow. What a horrible flop, jeez. So he checks, and I should 100% of the time check it back with the ace and the king, the 2 cards I really didn't want to see, but I decide to c-bet 6,500, and he makes the call. So at this point, I know I'm behind 100% of the time. I really shouldn't have made that bet ever. But the turn comes to 9. He checks. Obviously, I check it down. Just really only betting, looking for a queen at this point. River's a 7. He ends up making a very small bet of 6,000, and I fold. Just unfortunate flop there, and I just pretty much just lit up 6,500 chips on fire. So just kind of donated that to him there in that spot. Unfortunate, but it is what it is. Played that one pretty poorly. Next up in level 8, blinds are 500, 1,000 with a 100 chip ante. I look down at king 8 of diamonds in middle position there. Under gun plus 2 opens to 2,600. Folds back to me, and I like the hand. I love to play the hand, but looking at my stack, I think I only about 7,500 in front. So I decided to shove. Decent-ish play, I feel like. thinking that I had a pretty small stack, hoping I could just kind of steal the 2600 and just take it down there pre-flop. Folds back to him. He asked for a count, and I was wrong. I don't have 7500. I have 12k actually, so that's a lot bigger than I thought it was. He ends up tanking and folding, which is very nice. But that's just rookie tournament poker by your boy, thinking that I was a small stack, but really it wasn't that small. So luckily that one went through, but I easily should have just busted out there because I feel like I'm behind in that spot 9 times out of 10, especially to a undergun +2 open. Survived to level 9 barely at this point. Blinds are 600, 1200 with a 200 chip ante. I have about 9k in front of me, just chipping down, missing flops, paying antes, really just not playing. Really nothing was really going that well. But here I'm in the low jack, I'm pretty sure, and I have pocket queens against a middle position raise to 3k. This is a very easy shove for me. And at this point, he quickly folds back to him. He quickly makes the call, and he has king jack against queens. Flop comes king 10-3, and the river and turn don't help. So we bust out of the tournament with queens again. The queens really just got it twice and just lost a lot of my stack from both of them. But it was very interesting to play the very first tournament at MGM Springfield. Had a good time playing it. There was a huge turnout, actually. A total of 168 entrants, and I'm pretty sure the first place winner won 5,000. So there was 5k guaranteed, and basically the first place won like basically the guarantee. It was like 4,900 to first place. So that was very interesting and cool. But it wasn't even close. The tournament ran for a long time. I only played for 3 hours in the tournament to level 9 there. So what are you going to do? Ran poorly. Didn't play my best poker in the world. But we'll go to the outro. So I ended up busting out of the tournament with the pocket queens hand. I was running pretty well until I got pocket queens the first time. Lost like 10k from that hand. And then pocket queens the second time. Busted out against that. Against king jack, king on the flop, so I went over that hand, I'm sure. But yeah, so I ended up like placing, I guess, middle of the pack or pretty early. It was only level 9, so yeah, I'm gonna go play some 1-2, play some cash a little bit. If any interesting hands pop up, I'll be sure to let you know and go over them. But for now, tournaments are not my thing, but we tried our best.